Hello guys, how are you today? So today I'll be explaining the Math AMS quiz, the Pure Mathematics AMS quiz of term 1 week 6. So we're almost halfway through the term. That's really good. Time really flew by. Now let's get started with the video. What whole number is equal to f prime of 2? F prime of 2 means you need to find the derivative and then substitute in it. Of course, you can do this on your calculator, which is like really easy to do, but I prefer not to do it on the calculator. Why? Because, first of all, if we do it on the calculator, we may forget how to actually do it, and what they want from us is how to actually do it. And then another thing is, in the periodic, we're not allowed to use like these specific type of calculators. So we need to get new calculators without the derivative or integral function, okay? And then we need to solve. So what if this happens in the periodic and we don't know how to solve without the calculator? So this is why the whole video I'm going to be explaining how to do it without the derivative function on the calculator. When we can use it, of course we should use it, but on the other hand, it's better to practice, because when it comes to the time of the periodic, we'll be ready and we'll be able to do this periodic very easily. So in all scenarios, let's get started. So we said that we want to find the derivative and then substitute 2 in it. Now, let us take this and let us see what we have. In front of us, we have how many options? We have 2 options to deal with. We can either deal with it as u over v. Oh, so sorry for the handwriting, because on the tablet it's a bit wobbly. So u over v, okay? We can either deal with it like this, and how do you find the derivative of u over v? It's gonna be u prime v minus v prime u over what? Over v squared. This is how you'll find the derivative of u over v. Or we could do it in another way, which is what? You bring this up and it will become u times v. U times v. And how do you find the derivative of u times v? It's very simply u prime v plus v prime u. So now, very simply, I'm gonna deal with it as u over v. Of course, if you want to do it as u times v, you'll have to move this up and it will become 1 plus x to the power of minus 1. But I don't want to do all of these complicated, unnecessary things, so I'm just gonna deal with what? I'm just gonna deal with it as if it was u over v. So what are the first thing we need to do? The first thing we need to do is to find u. Our u in this scenario is 18x squared. Now let's find u prime, the derivative of u. Very simply, you guys should know how to find the derivation. So you're going to bring 2 down. So 2 times 18, that is 36x. And then 2 minus 1, that's going to be 1. Perfect. Now that we have u and u prime, let us find v and v prime. V in this scenario is 1 plus x. And v prime is very simply 1. Now that we have all of this, we can input them instead of this fraction over here. So we start with u prime v. First of all, what is u prime? U prime is 36x times v. What's the value of v? V is 1 plus x minus v prime u. What is the value of v prime? The value of v prime is 1 times what? Times the value of u, which is what? Which is 18x squared, over the value of v, which is 1 plus x to the power of what? To the power of 2. Now, usually, we would need to proceed and we'd need to find the simplest form and whatnot. But in my opinion, we do not need to expand from here. Since we have this, we can use this. Why? Because they do not want us to write the expanded or simplified form. They want us to write what they want us to write. When we substitute 2 in the derivative, what will we get as an answer? So there is no need to expand further than this. This is a waste of time. Now, the only thing you need to do is substitute x by 2. So 36 times 2 times 1 plus 2 minus 1 times 18 2 squared over what? Over 1 plus 2 to the power of 2. Please do not forget the brackets. The brackets are very, very, very important. So 36 times 2 times 1 plus 2 minus 1 times 18 times 2 to the power of 2. All of it over what? All of it over 1 plus 2 squared, and you will get an answer, which is what? You will get an answer, which is 16. Okay, so this is how we do the first question. It does not take a lot of time, but you guys need to know how to stop and when to stop depending on what they ask you in the question. So now we'll move on to the second question. What does the second question say? It says, Given fx is 20 radical x squared plus 36, what whole number is equal to f prime of 8? So we need to find the derivative, and we'll need to substitute 8 instead of x in the derivative. So as you can see, this is a bit complicated. So how do we simplify it? Very simple. It will become 20 multiplied by x squared plus 36 to the power of what? To the power of 1 over 2. Why? Because if it's a radical x squared plus 36, we know that this is to the power of 1, and radical, if there's no exponent, it's always to the power of 2. And so then you will take what? You will take the inside and you will divide it by the outside. Perfect. So this one we will not derive it, okay, because it's a whole number. So we know if you derive a whole number, you will get 1, and we don't need that. Or sorry, not even 1, you will get 0 if you derive a whole number. So we don't need that. We cannot get our answer to be 0. So in this scenario, we're not gonna do the derivative for a whole number. Multiplied by the derivation of this. This reminds me of what? This reminds me of u to the power of n, where u is a nomial, meaning it is what it is, monomial, binomial, trinomial, etc. So in this case, we have what? We have a binomial, okay? But in general, what is the derivative of u to the power of n? It is nu to the power of n minus 1 multiplied by the derivative of u, okay? What does that mean? This means very simply, we will bring n down in this scenario, so it's gonna be 1 over 2 x squared plus 36 to the power of, what is 1 over 2 minus 1? 1 over 2 minus 1, that's minus 1 over 2, to the power of minus 1 over 2 multiplied by the derivative of u. So we will need to take the derivative of this. What's the derivative of this? It is very simply 2x, okay? So let me just erase this. Now what do we have? It's going to be 20 times 1 over 2x squared plus 36 to the power of minus 1 over 2 times 2x. You can simplify, and it will become what? It will become x over here. So it will become 20 times x squared plus 36 to the power of minus 1 over 2. And then now we don't need to expand any further. We don't need to simplify any further. Now we just need to substitute 8 instead of x. So it will become 20 times 8 squared plus 36 to the power of minus 1 over 2. So 20 times 8 squared plus 36 to the power of minus 1 over 2. And we will get our answer, which is what? Which is 16, very simply. We'll now move on to question number 3. What does it say in question number 3? Again, what whole number is equal to f prime minus 2? So we'll need to find the derivative and substitute minus 2 in it. Okay, so 200 over x to the power of 4. We said when there is a whole number, we do not take the derivative. This you can see it as what? You can see it as u over v. But actually, it's not u over v. My bad, it's not u over v. Because u and v both need to be nominals. Here, there's no nominal in u. So this is not u over v, my bad. This we can take it as a whole number, which is 200, multiplied by a fraction, which is 1 over x to the power of 4. We do not like to see any x in the denominator, so we'll need to bring it up in the numerator. So it's going to be x to the power of minus 4. Now we can start. My bad, my alarm went off. Please excuse my alarm, I'm so sorry. Now we can start working. We have 200 times x to the power of minus 4. So 200 is the whole number. We'll not take the derivative, multiplied by the derivative of this, which is minus 4x minus 5. Why? Because it's minus 4 minus 1, which will give me minus 5. Perfect. Now, do I need to simplify? Yes, yeah, I can simplify. It's not necessary, not a necessity to simplify, but it's gonna be nicer to look at if you simplify it. So minus 800x to the power of minus 5. Do I need to simplify more after this? It's not a necessity. Why? Because they don't want us to put it in the final expanded form or the final simplified form. They want us to only substitute minus 2 instead of x. So it's gonna be minus 800 minus 2 to the power of minus 5. Let us put it on the calculator. Minus 800 minus 2 to the power of minus 5. And we will get our answer, which is what? Which is very simply 25. Let's move on to question number 4. What does it say? Given fx is equal to x squared plus 2x to the power of 4. Okay, and they want us to find what? F prime 1. So what do we need to do? We need to find the derivative of this, and we'll need to put 1 instead of x. So we did something like this before where we had a nomial. In this case, it's a binomial or trinomial in some sense, but because there's no 0, we're just going to say binomial. We said u to the power of n, where u is what is a nomial, meaning monomial, binomial, trinomial, etc. If you take its derivative, it's gonna be nu n to the power of minus 1 times u prime. Okay, so we'll need to apply this rule. What is this rule called? This rule is called the chain rule. We'll need to apply the chain rule on this one over here because it's a nomial instead of u. Okay, so let us do it together. It's gonna be x squared plus 2x to the power of 4, right? Now, we need to treat it as if it were a normal derivation, so it would be 4x squared plus 2x to the power of 3, and now the only difference is that you multiply by the derivative of what is inside. So what's the derivative of what was inside? It's 2x plus 2. Perfect. Now, in this scenario, there's no need to expand and simplify. You will just substitute 1 instead of x. So it's gonna be 4 times 1 squared plus 2 times 1 to the power of 3 times 2 times 1 plus 2. Now let us see. So if you put it on the calculator and pay attention to the brackets, they're very, very, very important. I cannot stress even more on like how important they are. Like, please don't forget them. It will mess up your whole equation if you forget one single bracket, okay? And you will get an answer of what? You will get an answer of 432. We'll move on to question number 5. What does it say in question number 5? It says, given that gx equals ux plus vx, u prime is equal to 10 plus 4x minus 3x squared, and v prime is equal to 3x squared minus 4x plus 7, what is the value of g prime x? So very simply, they told us that the function gx is ux plus vx. Perfect. Then what did they give us? They gave us the derivative of u and the derivative of v, and they asked us to find the derivative of g. In this scenario, because we are dealing with plus, not multiplication, not division, not minus, like minus also works, but in this scenario, because we're dealing with plus, we will add what? We will add the two derivatives together. If we were dealing with minus, so if they told us ux minus vx, what would we do? We would subtract the two derivatives together. Now, if they asked us times, so ux times vx, they would definitely need to give us the values of ux and vx in order for us to find the value of g prime x. And if they told us ux over vx, they would also need to give us the values of ux and vx in order for us to solve. So we dealt with all possible scenarios, but the two more important ones when it comes to a structure like this is if it's plus or minus. If it's plus, you add the two derivatives together, and if it's minus, you will subtract the two derivatives from each other. So let's start, because we're dealing with plus, okay? So what's that supposed to mean? That's supposed to mean that you're gonna add the derivative of u and you're gonna add the derivative of v in order for us to get what? In order for us to get the derivative of g. So it's gonna be 10 plus 4x minus 3x squared plus 3x squared minus 4x plus 7. This will cancel, and we are left with 10 plus 7, which is what? Which is 17. So the derivative of gx is what? The derivative of gx is 17, very simply. We'll move on to question number 6. What does it say in question number 6? Okay, if y is equal to this, what is the derivative equal to when x is 9? So very simply, what do we need to do? We'll need to find the derivative of this, perfect, and then we'll need to substitute it by 9. So very simply, we're gonna, because it's plus, we're gonna do each one separate and then we'll add them together. So it's gonna be 54 over radical x. We don't like to see radical x in the denominator, so we'll move it up. It will become x to the power of minus 1 over 2. You guys should know why by now. Plus what? Plus 24 x to the power of 1 over 2. Now we didn't find the derivatives yet. Now let us find the derivatives. It's going to be 54 times minus 1 over 2 times x, okay, to the power of what? X to the power of, what is 1 minus 1 over 2 minus 1? That's going to be minus 3 over 2. So 54 times minus 1 over 2 times x minus 3 over 2 plus 24 times x, 24 times 1 over 2 x to the power of minus 1 over 2. Now, if you want to simplify, you can simplify. If you don't want to waste any time, you can directly substitute 9 here. So it's going to be 54. Don't forget the brackets. 54 times minus 1 over 2, open bracket, 9, close bracket, to the power of minus 3 over 2, okay? Plus 24 times 1 over 2, open bracket, 9, close bracket, to the power of minus 1 over 2. And we will get our answer, which is what? We will get our answer, which is 3. Very simply. We'll move on to question number 7. What does it say in question number 7? It says the table below gives the values of functions u and v and their derivatives when x is equal to 10. They told us if y is equal to ux vx, what's the value of dy over dx when x is 10? So what do we know? They gave us the functions of u and v. They gave us the function of u prime v prime, which is their derivatives, right? They gave us the values. And this is all when they substituted x to be 10. So when x is equal to 10, this is what they got. So when u is 10, when x is 10, u is 16. When x is 10, the derivative of u is 4. When x is 10, v is minus 3. When x is 10, the derivative of v is 2. Now they're telling us they want the derivative of ux vx, so it's u times v, when x is equal to 10. So very simply, we know that when we're dealing with u times v, it's the same as this equation, u prime v plus v prime u. Perfect. So we took u prime v and we made it u prime v plus v prime u. Okay, so we got the rule for this. And now the only thing left for us to do is what? The only thing left for us to do is substitute. So we have the value of u prime, which is 4, times the value of v, which is minus 3, plus the value of v prime, which is 2, times the value of u, which is 16. Now you only put it on the calculator. 4 times minus 3 plus 2 times 16. That's going to give us an answer of what? That's going to give us an answer of 20. So very simply, our answer is what? Our answer is 20. We'll move on to question number 8. What does it say? It says, if y is equal to this, what is the value of the derivative if x is equal to 1? So very simply, we need to find the derivative of this. As you can see, this is a chain rule because it's u to the power of n. So let us apply the chain rule on this. It's going to be 1 over 4, 7x to the power of 12 minus 6 to the power of 1 over 4 minus 1, which is minus 3 over 4. Now, do not forget to multiply by the derivative of the inside. So that's going to be 12 times 7, which is 84, 84x to the power of 11. Now, there's not a necessity to expand and simplify and whatever to make it simpler. You can directly substitute 1 and you can save your time. So it's going to be 1 over 4 times 7. Do not forget the brackets. Times 1 to the power of 12 minus 6, all of it to the power of minus 3 over 4. Times 84 times 1 to the power of 11. So if we put it on the calculator, we would get our answer to be what? To be 21. Very simply. Let us move on to question number 9. What does it say in question number 9? It says, if y is equal to this, what's the value of the derivative at x equal to 1? So again, they're telling us the whole quiz is like this, basically, except the last few questions. They're telling us you need to find the derivative of this and then substitute x by 1, very simply. So this is another application of the chain rule. Okay, so first of all, we have a number, which is 1 over 24, so we cannot take the derivative of this, multiplied by 9 minus 8x to the power of 18 to the power of minus 6. Now let's take the derivative of this one. we'll need to apply the chain rule to find the derivative of this. So it's going to be minus 6, 9 minus 8x to the power of 18 to the power of minus 7. Why did I get minus 7 and not minus 5? Because I did minus 6 minus 1, which is minus 7. And then I will multiply it by what? I will multiply it by the derivative of this. Very simply, the derivative of this is 18 times 8 minus 144x minus 144 x to the power of 17. If you don't know what I did, I just took the derivative of this, okay? Now, perfect, we have the value of the derivative of this. We can substitute it over here. So it will become minus 6 times 9 minus 8x to the power of 18 minus 7 times minus 144 x to the power of 17. Now, of course, you can simplify, you can expand, you can not expand. Whatever you want to do, you can do, but I prefer not to simplify in order to save time. Okay, so now just put it as it is and substitute the x by 1 in the calculator. So it's going to be 1 over 24 times minus 6, open brackets, 9 minus 8 times 1 to the power of 18, and all of it is to the power of minus 7, multiplied by minus 144 times 1 to the power of 17, and we will get our answer, which is what? Which is 36. Perfect, so our answer over here is 36. Let's move on to question number 10. What does it say? Okay. Again, another application of the chain rule. They told us if y is equal to 6x to the power of 7 minus 5, all of it to the power of 5, what's the value of the derivative if we substituted 1? So again, we'll need to find the derivative, but this is a chain rule. Why? Because it's u to the power of n, so we need to apply the chain rule. So how's it gonna be? Let's take the derivative of this using the chain rule. It's gonna be 5, 6x7 minus 5, all of it to the power of 5 minus 1, which is 4. Now we multiply by the derivative of the inside, which is what? Which is 42x. Now you can simplify, you can not simplify, you can expand, you can, I don't know what you can do, but as long as you started with this, then you are working correctly, okay? So personally, I don't like to expand so I can save time. I just put it in the calculator. So 5 times 6, instead of x, we will put 1. Okay? So 5 times 6, like open brackets, 5 bracket 6 times 1 to the power of 7 minus 5 to the power of 4 times 42 times 1, I forgot to the power of 6 over here. Okay? To the power of 6. So that's going to give us our answer, which is what? Which is 210. So perfect. Our answer is what? Our answer is 210. We'll move on to question number 11. What does it say in question number 11? It says, if y is equal to 6x5 minus, 3 times 6x5 minus 5, all of it to the power of 4, then what's the value of the derivative if we substitute 1? So very simply, what do we need to do? It's 3 times 6x5 minus 5 to the power of 4. So this is basically what? This is basically a chain rule. 3 is a number. It's a constant, so we're not gonna take the derivative of it. So it's 3 times the derivative of this, which is a chain rule. So 3 times 4, 6x5 minus 5 to the power of 3. And then we take the derivative of the inside, which is what? Which is 30x4. Now what do? We will substitute 1 instead of x. So it's going to be 3 times 4, open bracket, 6 times 1 to the power of 5 minus 5, all of this to the power of 3. Open brackets, 30 times 1 to the power of 4. And we will get our answer, which is what? Which is 360. I think this quiz is easier than last week since we practiced it a lot and we know how to do it. Okay, perfect. We'll move on to question number 12. What does it say? Here they did not ask us to substitute, so we may need to do what? We may need to simplify. Of course, we need to simplify in all cases, but when it comes to substituting a value and whatnot, it's easier to not simplify, and it's going to save you so much time. So what did they tell us? They told us that y is equal to this over here. Okay, and then you will need to take the derivative of this over here, and they want you to write the value of the derivative. So what do we have? We have all of this is to the power of 1, and this is a square root. So we can write it in another way, which is x to the power of 12 plus 4, all of it to the power of inside over outside, 1 over 2. Perfect. Now let's take the derivative of this. It's gonna be, we're gonna be using the chain rule first of all, okay, because it's u to the power of n. So it's gonna be 1 over 2 times x12 plus 4 to the power of 1 over 2 minus 1, which is minus 1 over 2, multiplied by the derivative of what is inside, which is 12x11. So now there is no value to substitute. We can't keep it like this. So we need to what? We need to simplify. So it's gonna be what? It's gonna be 12x11, okay, times 1 over 2 times x to the power of 12 plus 4 to the power of minus 1 over 2. So let me erase this. 12x11 times 1 over 2, that is 6x11. And then this, it's a negative exponent. Whenever it's a negative exponent, what can we do? We can bring it and we can put it down. So what does it mean? This means instead of being in the numerator, it will become in the denominator. So now it's x12 plus 4 to the power of 1 over 2. And we said if it's to the power of 1 over 2, we can write it as what? We can write it as a radical. So the final answer is 6x11 over radical x12 plus 4. Perfect. So what's the value over here? The value over here is 6. We'll move on to question number 13. What does it say? Fill in the blank with a whole number. Perfect. They gave us this function, 5x squared over x4 plus 1, and they want us to find the derivative of this function. As you can see, this function is quite literally u over v. We can say it's u over v because it has a nomial up and a nomial down. Now, what is the rule for u over v? It is u prime v minus v prime u over v squared. Now, what's the value of u? The value of u is 5x squared. What is the value of u prime? The value of u prime is 10x. What's the value of v? The value of v is x to the power of 4 plus 1. What's the value of v prime? The value of v prime is 4. Yeah, I think 4x3. Yeah, that's the value of v prime. Now, what do they need from us? They need us to put the values into the equation. So let's put the values into the equation. Instead of u prime, we will put 10x. Instead of v, we will put x to the power of 4 plus 1. Then minus. Did I not write u? Instead of v prime, we will put what? We will put 4x to the power of 3. And then instead of u, we will put what? We will put 5x squared. And then instead of v squared, what do we put? We will put x to the power of 4 plus 1, all of it squared. Perfect. Now that we have the values in the equation, what can we do? We can simplify, because here there's no value to substitute. But we can simplify. Let us look at the structure they want us. Let us look at the structure they want us to have. As you can see, it's something times x to the power of 4 plus 1 minus something x to the power of 5 over x to the power of 4 plus 1 to the power of 2. So very simply, I can see it as what? As 10x will stay the same times x to the power of 4 plus 1. Now we'll need to multiply these. What will we get? We will get minus 20x to the power of 5. All of it being what? All of it being over... My bad. All of it being over x to the power of 4 plus 1 being squared. So this is the final structure of how they want us to have it. It's 10x times x to the power of 4 plus 1 minus 20x to the power of 5 over x to the power of 4 plus 1 squared. So 10x and minus 20x to the power of 5. Let's move on to question number 14. Fill in the blank with a whole number. They told us y is 5x to the power of 3 plus 1, all of it to the power of 4. Then they want us to find what? They want us to find the value of y prime, which is what? Which is the derivative. So as you can see, I think we can apply the chain rule to this one over here. Why? Because it has the same structure as u to the power of n. So let us apply the chain rule to find the derivative. It's gonna be 4 times 5x to the power of 3 plus 1 to the power of what? To the power of 4 minus 1, which is 3. And then we multiply by the derivative of what's inside. So that's gonna be 15 x to the power of 2. So what is it going to be? It's going to be 4 times 5x3 plus 1 to the power of 3 times 15x to the power of 2. And now you just need to multiply 15x squared and 4. That's going to give us 60x squared times what? Times 5x3 plus 1, all of it being to the power of 3. Okay, so this is 60 over here. So the answers are 4, 15, and 60x to the power of 2. We'll move on to the next question, which is question 15. They said 5x times x minus 2 to the power of 9. And they want us to what? They want us to find the derivative, or the process of the derivative. So let us start very simply. We're going to take it as what? We're going to take it as 5x times x minus 2 to the power of 9. So this is what? This is u times v. So what is the rule for u times v? The rule for u times v is u prime v plus v prime u. What does that mean? That means we need to find u prime, v, and v prime. First of all, u is given to us as 5x. U prime is going to be what? It's going to be 5. V is given to us as x minus 2 to the power of 9. V prime is going to be what? V prime is going to be 9 times x minus 2 to the power of 8, and then times the derivative of the inside, which in this scenario is 1. Okay, perfect. Now we only need to substitute the values. Instead of u prime, we will put 5. Instead of v, we will put x minus 2 to the power of 9. Instead of v prime, we will put 9 times x minus 2 to the power of 8 times 1, okay? And instead of u, we will put what? We will put 5x. Okay, so if we expand it a bit more, it's going to be 5 times x minus 2 to the power of 9 plus 45x times x minus 2 to the power of 8. So as you can see, this is what? This is the first step that they want from us. They want something times x minus 2 to the power of 9 plus something x times x minus 2 to the power of 8. So it's going to be 5 over here, and it's going to be 45 over here. Okay, so now the next step that they want us to do is to do what? Is to take out the common, okay? But don't take out the common numbers, they mean take out the common exponents. So in this scenario, we have x minus 2 to the power of 9 and x minus 2 to the power of 8. Which one is the least common factor? In this scenario, the least common factor is x minus 2 to the power of 8. So we're going to be taking it out, okay? So it's going to be x minus 2 to the power of 8 multiplied by, this will become 5 times x minus 2 to the power of 9 divided by x minus 2 to the power of 8. It will be what? It will be x minus 2. So 5 times x minus 2 plus 45x. Now, of course, as well, what can we do? We can take out the least common factor in between what? In between 5 and 45. So in this scenario, it's going to be 5. That means we're going to put 5 over here, and this will be 1. And then that's going to be 45 divided by 5, which is 9x. Okay, so basically what did I do? I took out 5, first of all, and then I took out what? I took out x minus 2 to the power of 8, and I'm left with this structure, which is 5 times x minus 2 to the power of 8 times x minus 2 plus 9x. Now to simplify this, you will get what? You will get 10x minus 2. So very simply, what's our value over here? Our value over here is 5, and our value over here is 10. So it's going to be 5 over here, 45 over here, 5 over here, and 10 over here. We'll move on to question number 16. What does it say? Okay, so now we move on to question number 16. This was in the quiz last week. So they said fill in the blanks with the correct whole numbers. So what can we see over here? This is the same as u over v. Perfect. We know it's the same as u over v. So what's the rule for u over v? It's u prime v minus v prime u over v squared. طيب, let us find u, let us find v, let us find u prime, and let us find v prime. Let me just fix this. Okay. So what is the value of u? For us, the value of u in this scenario is x squared minus 8x. The value of v is 6 minus x. What's the value of u prime? The derivative of u. It's going to be 2x minus 8. And the value of v prime is going to be minus 1. Perfect, perfect. Now we just need to substitute. Instead of u prime, what do we put? We will put x minus 8. Instead of v, we will put 6 minus x. And then minus, instead of v prime, we will put minus 1. And instead of u, we will put x squared minus 8x. And then instead of v squared, what do we put? We will put 6 minus x to the power of 2. Now, let us solve. If we solve it, what will we get? We will get 2x times 6, that's 12x. Minus 2x squared minus 48 plus 8x, right? Now, it's gonna be minus 1. So minus 1, this will become plus 1. So it will become plus 1 times x squared minus 8x. So that's gonna be plus x squared minus 8x. So what will we be left with? We will be left with minus x squared. This will go bye-bye. This will become plus 12x minus 48. Perfect. So now all of this, every single bit of it, we can substitute it by what? By minus x squared plus 12x minus 48 over what? Over 6 minus x squared. So minus x squared plus 12x minus 48. We'll move on to part B. If y is equal to this, then what's the derivative? Okay, very simply, I do not like to see any radicals. If you like to see radicals, okay, that's fine. You can deal with the radicals. But in math, I do not like to see radicals. So how do we deal when we do not like to see radicals? We will make them exponents. Just as we said, this is 2 here. It's not written, but we know that it's 2 here because it's the square root. So it's going to be what? It's going to be 1 plus 2x squared to the power of inside over outside. Right? So it's going to be 9 over 2 times 1 plus 2x squared to the power of what? To the power of 9 over 2 minus 1. That's going to be 7 over 2. And we don't forget to multiply by what? By the derivative of the inside, which is what? Which is 4x. Perfect. Now, if we simplify it, it's going to be 4x times 9 over 2. That's going to be 18x. Times, whenever we have what? Whenever we have an exponent. Oh, I forgot to put the 2 over here. I'll put the 2. Just ignore it for now. Whenever we have an exponent, okay, and it's a fraction, we need to make sure that it's not an improper fraction. What we have over here is an improper fraction. So it's going to be 1 plus 2x squared. How do we change from improper into a proper fraction? You can either do it mentally, which it will be 3, 1 over 2. Or if you don't know how to do it mentally, there's an option on the calculator. You will do 7 over 2. You will put equal and you will do shift SD. When you click on shift SD, you will get it to be what? You will get it to be 3, 1 over 2. What does this mean exactly? This means it's 18x times 1 plus 2x squared to the power of 3, and then 1 plus 2x squared to the power of what? To the power of 1 over 2. So we can substitute this by what? By a radical 1 plus 2x squared. So what do we get? We will get 18x times 1 plus 2x squared to the power of 3 radical 1 plus 2x to the power of 2. Let me just put the 2 over here because I forgot to put it. And then 18x plus 1, times 1 plus 2x squared, all of it to the power of 3 times a radical 1 plus 2x squared. Now we move on to question number 17, the last question. Okay, this is not too long. It's also in the quiz of last AMS. Okay, so here what do we have? We have addition. So whenever we have addition, we will need to do each derivative by itself. So let's start with the first one. The first one is a chain rule, by the way. 5x plus 1 to the power of 4. This will become 4 times 5x plus 1 to the power of 3 times the derivative of 5x plus 1, which is 5. So it will basically become 20 times 5x plus 1 to the power of 3. So we have the first part, which is 20 plus 5x plus 1 to the power of 3. Now, the derivative of 3x squared, this is definitely going to be 6x. And then the derivative of minus 9x, that's going to be minus 9. Now, same exact thing. We have minus and plus. So what do we need to use in this scenario? We'll need to use, we'll need to do the derivative of each one and then we add them all together. So this is going to be 20x4 minus, this is going to be 16x plus. stop. Let's wait for a second. 6 over radical x. We don't like to see radical in the denominator. So then we will bring it up. So it will be x to the power of minus 1 over 2. Because if it's to the power of if it's to the power of 1 over 2, it's going to be 6 radical x. But we have it as 6 over radical x. So that's why we put a minus. All right, let's make the derivative of this. It's going to be 6 times minus 1 over 2 times x to the power of minus 3 over 2. So what's it going to be? It's going to be minus 3 times x to the power of minus 3 over 2. So that's basically minus 3 over x to the power of 3 over 2. We said if it's to the power of an exponent and it's an improper fraction, we need to change it to a proper fraction. So it's going to be minus 3 over x to the power of 1 over 2. That means very simply we can write it as minus 3 over x radical x. Brilliant. So we have 20 x to the power of 4 minus 16 x minus 3 over x radical x. Now we have part C, which is a multiplication. That is u times v. When it's u times v, we use the rule u prime v plus v prime u. This v prime u. So let us find our u, our v. My u and v look the same, my bad. Our u, our v, our u prime, and our v prime. Let's find them. Our u is 3x squared plus 1. Our v, in the scenario, I'm going to change it from radical into exponent because I don't like to see any radical. So 3x squared minus 1 to the power of 1 over 2. U prime is going to be what? It's going to be 6x. And v prime is going to be what? It's going to be 1 over 2 times 3x squared minus 1 to the power of minus 1 over 2. And we don't forget to multiply by what? We don't forget to multiply by the derivative of inside, which is what? Which is 6x. Okay, if we simplify this, it's going to be 3x, because 1 over 2 times 6x, it will become 3x. So 3x times 3x squared minus 1 to the power of minus 1 over 2. Now we can substitute. U prime for us is 6x. V for us is what? Is 3x squared minus 1 to the power of 1 over 2. Plus v prime for us is what? What's the value of v prime? It is 3x times 3x squared minus 1 to the power of minus 1 over 2. And then we will multiply it by what? We'll multiply it by our u, which is what? Which is 3x squared plus 1. Perfect, perfect. Let me just erase these. So now, what do we need to do? So first thing that I can see is we can take out the common. Let's take out the common exponent. If we take out the common exponent, look what it's going to be. We're going to take 3x squared minus 1. But to which power? Usually, the more common, like the power that we're going to take out is the lower number. So what's the lower number? 1 over 2 or minus 1 over 2? Definitely minus 1 over 2 is the lower number or the smaller number. So this is what we're going to take out, okay? Multiplied by 6x times 3x squared minus 1. We took out minus 1 over 2, so that's going to be 1 over 2 minus 1 over 2, and that's going to give us an answer of 1. Plus 3x times, this we took it out, so we can remove it, times 3x squared plus 1. Okay? So now let us solve the inside. So it's going to be 6x times 3x squared, 18x to the power of 3 minus 6x, plus 9x to the power of 3 plus 3x. So if we simplify it, it's going to be 27x to the power of 3 minus 3x. Perfect. So we can substitute all of what's inside by what? By 27x to the power of 3 minus 3x. And this, because it's a negative exponent, we can bring it down. So what does it become? It will become over 3x squared minus 1 to the power of 1 over 2. And then we can change 1 over 2 into what? Into a radical. So it's 27x to the power of 3 minus 3x over radical 3x squared minus 1. So 27 x to the power of 3 minus 3x. And then last but not least, the very, very, very last question. This is what? This is u over v. Perfect. How do we know it's u over v? Because it's nomial over nomial. So what's the equation of u over v? The equation of u over v is u prime v minus v prime u over what? Over v squared. So let's do that. Let's start first of all by finding u. U is x to the power of 6. u prime is 6x5. V is x6 minus 1 to the power of 1 over 2. V prime, on the other hand, is what? Is 1 over 2 x to the power of 6 minus 1 to the power of minus 1 over 2. And we don't forget to multiply by the derivative inside which is 6x5. خلاص, perfect. Now we have all of the values. Let me just write the equation up. It's u prime v minus v prime u over v squared. So, let us substitute now. We have u prime, which is 6x5, times v, which is x to the power of 6 minus 1, all of it to the power of 1 over 2, minus v prime, which is 1 over 2. Actually, if we simplify it, this will become 3x5. Because 6x5 times 1 over 2, that's 3x5. So minus 3x5 times x to the power of 6 minus 1 to the power of minus 1 over 2. Multiplied by what? Multiplied by u, which is x to the power of 6. All of it is over what? All of it is over v squared. So that's v, which is x to the power of 6 minus 1 to the power of 1 over 2. All of it being squared. So now we need to simplify it, yes? First of all, we start with this. 1 over 2 times 2 is 1. So that's basically what? X to the power of 6 minus 1. Perfect. Now what do we do? From the top, as we can see, we have these two in common. So we will take out the least common factor. So when you take it out, what do you get? You're gonna get x6 minus 1 to the power of. What is the least common factor between 1 over 2 and minus 1 over 2? Definitely it's the smaller number, which is minus 1 over 2. Now we will multiply it all by what? By 6x5 times x6 minus 1 to the power of 1 over 2 minus 1 over 2, because we took it out, so it's going to be 1, minus 3x5, this we can cross it because we took it out, times x to the power of 6. So let us simplify the inside. This is going to be 6x11 minus 6x5. And then let's simplify this one as well. This will be minus 3x11. Perfect. Let's simplify it even more. When we simplify it even more, we're going to get 3x11 minus 6x5. Perfect. So now that means we can substitute everything, every single thing, all of this. We can substitute it by what? We can substitute it by x6 minus 1 to the power of minus 1 over 2 times 3x11 minus 6x5. Remember, we do not like to see any negative exponents. So we need to bring it down, okay? So when we bring it down, it's going to be what? It's going to be x6 minus 1 to the power of 1 over 2. And then we can change 1 over 2 into what? Into a radical. So this is our final answer. 3x11 minus 6x5 over what? Over x6, x to the power of 6 minus 1 times radical x6 minus 1. So 3x11 minus 6x5. Let's submit and hopefully we do not have any mistakes. And alhamdulillah, thank God we do not have any mistakes. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed and have a wonderful